Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bernardo from the BTNHD, and today guys, let's go over configuring client settings and adding additional roles within our SCCM 2012 R2. So let's get started. So within our SCCM console, what we want to do is we want to get into the administration, and within administration we want to go into site configuration and servers and site system roles. We want to right click on our server. We want to go into add site system roles, and the one that I want to add once it loads up is I want to add the application catalog web service point actually, and I need to application catalog website point. So once you get this dialog box, you don't need to do anything from here. Let's click on next. I don't have a proxy server, so I'm going to click on next. And I'm going to pick my application catalog web server service point, as well as my catalog website point. And let's click those two. Let's click on next. From here, I'm going to leave everything as the default website, and the web application name is going to be CM application catalog SVC. I'm going to leave that as default. I'm going to leave the port as 80 because again, this is testing, but most likely if I was doing this on a production environment, I will enable my HTTPS to keep it secure. So I'm gonna click on next on that. From here, I'm not gonna change anything. I'm gonna leave everything as default. This is really up to you again. If you want to do a different, if you have another site system in your environment, pick it. If not, just leave it as the default. Everything looks pretty good. They give you a nice little warning. Ensure the following client settings are configured as yes to allow clients to connect to this application catalog. Add application catalog website to the Internet Explorer trusted site zone if you actually have that implemented into your environment. So I'm going to click next on this. Organization and name. This is when you get a little bit customization. This is really up to you and what you guys want to do. And I'm going to call it, let's give it a cool name. Let's give it BTNHD. Why not, right? Now the color is really up to you. It really depends up to you how you want it. So let's click on the drop down. You're able to pick a lot of weird different colors, or you could just pick on more. I'm going to pick the default, which is blue. I like blue. Let's click on next. You get a nice little summary. You're going to click on next, and it's going to do its magic, and eventually you're going to get all these little green check marks. This is a good thing. We're going to close that up. Now we're going to try to configure our client agent settings. Now to do this, we're still within applications, which is a great thing. And from there, we need to get into the client settings. So to get into client settings, we need to get into, actually it's already out here inside the overview. So let's click on client settings. And within client settings, we're going to click on a default client settings. Right click on that, go to properties. Once the default settings dialog box pop up, we need to do a couple of things from here. So let's get into the client policy. And from here, this is really up to you. By default, they gives you an hour. So I'm going to change it to 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, the client policy poll interval is going to set off. With changing it to 15 minutes, this basically means that every 15 minutes, the client will contact the management points for a new policy. So you're constantly doing it rather than an hour. Because I'm doing this as a test, I want to see how fast it talks and to retrieve all those policies right away. Now, next thing that we need to do within our client settings is let's go into computer agent. From here, we're going to click on set website, select application catalog website point. Remember, we just added those roles. So let's click on the drop down. And the one that we want to do is the name of my server, but you want to use the intranet FQDN. Let's click on that. Let's click OK once you're done with that. Now, once you press OK, we want to make some modifications inside the computer agent settings. So let's add the default application catalog website to the Internet Explorer trusted site zone. Let's click true or yes. From here, let's make some modifications with the software updates. From here, I'm going to make some modifications with the software update scan schedule. So let's change this to 1 day because I want it right away. Let's go. And let's change the schedule deployment as well to 1 day. Okay, so scheduled deployment revalidation is going to be on 1 day, and the scan schedule is going to be on 1 day. The only reason that I'm changing this to 1 day is because I want to synchronize my endpoint protection definition updates on a daily basis. So rather than doing every 7 days, I wanted to do it in 1 day. Again, this is most likely if you're doing it in a production, you want to increase that number to a little higher, maybe the default to 7 or maybe 5 or 3. But because I'm testing this stuff out, I'm going to do it for 1 day. Now, the next thing that I want to do is let's get into user and devices. And from this little dialog box, I'm going to change allow users to define their primary devices. I'm going to click yes for this. I'm going to click OK to accept all the settings. Now it's time to deploy our client agent. Now there are many ways to deploy your client agent. You have client push installation. You have a software update point installation. You have group policy installation. You got login scripts, manual installation, upgrade, or client imaging. So you have a bunch of ways to push out the client. If I was doing this more of a production environment, I would do it as a GPO, or I would use the console to push it out. Later on, I'm going to show you guys how to do that on different video series, okay? Okay, so to push it out with the console, again, we need to be in an administration node. Let's go to Sites. And within Sites, we need to go into the client installation settings. Let's click on that. And you get two options. You get a client push installation or software update based client installation. So the one that we want to do is a client push installation. So let's click on that. Dialog box pops up. We need to enable it. So we're going to check this off. Once you check this off, you get 3 other options. So from here, by default, you have servers and workstations that the client push is going to be pushed out to. So I'm going to check off configuration manager site system servers as well. So I want my SCCM site managers to also have the client push, so I can gather some information or push out updates with the console. Once you do that, let's go into accounts. Okay, from here, guys, we need to create a new account. This account needs to have full admin rights to all the workstations on your machine to push out the client install. So I'm going to use my admin account. And so to make it a little easy, again, this is for testing purposes. Let's add the password. Let's confirm the password. Make sure you're typing the password correctly. You have a verify, so let's verify that. We have a network shared. Now the network share is basically the source file. So it would be NYCCM /source. There it goes. Awesome. And we are going to test the connection, and the connection was successfully verified. That is a great thing. Let's press OK, and we're going to press OK on this, and then we're going to hit apply, and we're going to press OK. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go into our assets and compliance, and we're going to go into devices. And within devices, this is the only device I have in Active Directory, but pretty soon I'm going to add more machines. Let's right click on it. And we have an option to install the client. So I'm going to click on install client. But before I do that, I want to show you guys, let's go inside our task manager and let's go to more details. And from here, as you can see, I don't have SCCM setup running, but I'm going to show you guys, because normally when you push out a client to your machine, and on the task manager, you're going to see something about called SCCM setup, something like that. It's going to be running. So again, I don't have it here. So I'm going to put that to the side, put this to the side. Let's right click on this and let's go install client. You get the nice little beautiful wizard. So we can click on next. We allow the client software to be installed on domain controller. Always install the client software and install the client software from a specific site, which is this one. This is the only one that I have so far. And we're going to click on next. Gives you a nice little summary. We're going to click on next. And it's doing this thing. We're going to press close. And if we take a look inside our task manager, see if it's there. Where is it? It's sorted. There it goes. See, guys? There it goes. SCCM setup.exe 32-bit. So it looks like it's running. Eventually, it takes a while for it to install. One of the cool things that I like about right here, you get a multiple tabs that allows you, it gives you client check details, malware details, anti-malware policies, client settings. So this is pretty cool. Eventually, once the SCCM client is installed, this right here is going to get populated with some information, which is a great thing. And that's it, guys. That is the video configuring our client settings. We pushed it out. We added some cool roles. We added the catalog websites point, which is awesome. Pretty soon I'm going to show you guys what that does. If you have any comments or concerns, leave them at the bottom of the video. Don't forget about hitting that like button because it does support the video as well as this guy. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.